Before we get to that story, we are turning our attention to the Deer Park pipeline fire that has been burning for roughly 36 hours now. This is a live picture behind us showing the flames. Good evening and thank you for joining us at 10. I'm Keith Garvin.
And I'm Daniela Guzman. It is the second night that some families who live nearby will not be able to sleep in their own beds. The company who owns the pipeline is helping some people with a hotel room. Now, KPRC 2's Bryce Newberry is there live. And Bryce, you just got done speaking to one of those families. What are they telling you tonight?
Yeah, Daniela and Keith, this tower of fire here is not nearly as tall as it was 24 hours ago, but since it's still burning, that means it's not safe for some of these families to return home. And tonight, we still don't know if the car crash that came before this fire was intentional or if that driver survived. Those are answers that the city tells us all depend on this fire finally being put out. From every angle, the flames continued raging in Deer Park a day and a half after a natural gas line exploded. Neighbors heard the roar as soon as the fire started.
You could hear the plume make the noise.
And this is what Jeff Linhart's cell phone captured when he walked outside.
I heard a boom, and then the blinds inside the house lifted up, and the force from the explosion literally pushed my chair. I was sitting there, and it just pushed my chair back literally 2 feet.
He talked to us as he fled to safety, and again Tuesday night as his family with their dog Coco prepares for their second night in a hotel provided by pipeline owner Energy Transfer as they wait to return home.
We haven't done a full inspection, but it's still standing.
The glow of the pipeline fire could be seen from the International Space Station. Federal investigators ruled out terrorism, but Deer Park police still haven't released details about the crash that came before the explosion, only telling us an SUV drove through the fence of a Walmart parking lot into the pipeline right-of-way and hit an above-ground valve.
The only holdup is once the fire gets out, then the PD will be able to get access to that and start connecting the dots and trying to create a narrative of what actually occurred.
The evacuation area shrunk Tuesday as hazmat crews and firefighters prepare to search home by home once it's safe. The Linhart's kids left the house just minutes before the fire started.
It's just a nightmare.
Driving past what would have been the massive fireball.
My son and, sorry, I'm about to cry, my daughter were going to college, and had they waited a few minutes, they probably would have been gone. So it's that scary.
Scarier now, knowing the danger of a pipeline being so close to home.
Maybe moving is a good possibility because that's way too close for home.
I would move tomorrow if I could get everything in the truck.
And tonight, this fire is burning longer than expected. You'll remember last night, the expectation was that this fire would be put out possibly by the early morning hours. But the city tells us that it's burning longer than expected because they're trying to make sure that it is put out in the safest way possible. There are still some people here in this area without power tonight. And CenterPoint Energy tells us it's still not safe for some of those power crews to get back into these areas and fully restore power for everyone. We are live in Deer Park. I'm Bryce Newberry, KPRC 2 News.